come here to preach to you today. But you know, I feel good. Cause I know that. Cause I know. Cause I know there's a God somewhere.
Been a kind of the toe since a kid. Never wanna hurt nobody.
OCO, Taishu, Shadada Lai, Dagada, here, gonna get wire. I am Black Wolf, the last rebel of the underground. Hey, 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 yo. So what I want to talk about today is who the American Indian is and how this topic is super complicated. But I'm gonna break it down to you how it was told to me by my elders. So let's start with the word American. The 1828 Webster Dictionary defines American as a native of America, originally applied to the aboriginal copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Okay, let's stop right there. Copper-colored races, plural, meaning more than one race, which breaks down into two groups: the Cowlitz, the northern tribes, and the Niji, the southern tribes. Both of these groups are American Indian, and as you know, most of us were nomadic tribes, so there was a lot of intermixing between the two haplogroups prior to 1492. The hue of the American Indian has always ranged from tawny to swarthy. America has always been the melting pot. Some of this mixing came from marriage and some of this from war. Now, I'm not gonna sit and act like everything was all kumbaya. Yes, there was fighting and prisoners were taken in these battles, but American Indians have a tradition. We would allow these POWs to become part of our tribes after a certain amount of time. But let's make one thing clear. The Niji controlled most of the Western Hemisphere. We had most of the land, and that is why the Soyapo came after us so hard, to take our land. Now this is where things get dicey. Some people are not gonna like what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because I'm here to tell the truth. Have you ever heard the saying, all skin folks and kin folks? Well, that saying was born in America, and here's why. Now, the rock scratchers did show up in 1492 looking for gold, but they came in small numbers. Most of these colonies failed miserably due to starvation and warfare. Have you ever heard of the movie Alive? It's based on a true story. Well, that's what happened in their colonies. Things got so bad for the Soyapo that they started digging up their own dead and eating them. So they had to come up with a new plan to take our land because we were whooping their ass. Matter of fact, we was whooping everybody's ass, including the Cowlitz. Niji clan wasn't nothing to fuck with. So their new plan to take our land was to send Sephardic spies into our tribes to infiltrate us and find out the inner workings. Now, we were a little bit more recessive to the Sephardic people because they looked like us, but all they were was some dark-skinned Soyapo, hired mercenaries, most of them, protectors of the crown. Now, we were never on the greatest terms with the northern tribes, but we were civil with them. But like I said before, all skin folks ain't kin folks. And they were able to convince some of the northern tribe members to join their forces. With them studying our moves for over a few hundred years, shit really hit the fan about the 1800s. And they thought it was time to take our land. Right around the time the Henry repeating rifle was invented, because like I said before, we was whooping their ass. those flintlocks and muzzle loaders wasn't getting the job done. So, with their new discovered intel, along with their new allies and their new weapons, coupled with the promise to gain spoils of war, the war on the Nijis amplified. After hundreds of years of warfare, many casualties, topped by the loss of some of our greatest chiefs, plus being outgunned and fighting a war on two fronts, we were forced to concede. And that's how the Niji lost the war. In our language, there is no way to say goodbye. So I'm gonna say, Danada, Gohahi, brothers and sisters. Wado.
Really want me to ever catch you slipping, fam. These politicians is hypocrites and motherfucking bitch made. You hear the voices from beyond the grave. Now is it really too late, or can our earth be saved? I know you hear it, the voices from beyond the grave.
I'm picking the lock, coming through the door blasting, you know what I'm saying?
So many years they prayed we wouldn't make it. They wouldn't give me a chance, so I had to take it.